passion. This is all in for the love of the game. This is LoveSetMatch.
I mean, Andre Agassi had this quote, you don't have to be better than everyone else in the draw when you go out on the court. Like, you have to be better than someone that's across the net.
I think you got to stay active in a sport sense, you know, go out there, do some sports. I think it always makes you feel better. Maybe you're more tired in the very moment, but actually the rest of the day feels better. And then I think giving back as well, you know, making other people happy is going to give you a good feeling too.
Hey, welcome to Tennis Pal Chronicles, the podcast to feed your passion for all things tennis. I'm your host, Philip Kim, also known as Coach PK, the tennis pro for the Langham Huntington Hotel in sunny Southern California. My wonderful co-host, Valerie, is busy packing for Europe and actually texted me as she was getting on the plane, so she will be landing at the French Open soon. I can't wait to share some of her experiences with you. And speaking of the French Open, this is the first official week of Roland Garros, and there is a ton of anticipation for this year. Will Rafa Nadal be healthy enough to book his mind-blowing 14th title?
So always is a special feeling.
Will 19-year-old Carlos Alcaraz continue his dominant display of tennis and spoil the Nadal party? Will defending champion Djokovic have a resurgence and take the trophy back to Serbia again? In a recent interview after winning the Italian Open in Rome and securing his 1,000th ATP Tour win, he said he liked his chances.
Well, to some extent it's a relief because, you know, after everything that happened at the beginning of the year, it was important for me to win a big title, and especially with the Grand Slams coming up, where I obviously want to play my best and be at the level of confidence, I think, more than just the game, where I want to be in order to have a chance to win the title. Rome historically has always been a place where when I felt down a little bit or maybe didn't have as good of results, I always kind of found my groove here because of the support, because of an amazing energy that the crowd gives and on and off the court. So yeah, I couldn't ask for a better week, really. Played a perfect set today, didn't drop a set the whole tournament. I trusted the process really when I started training on clay. I knew that even though I did not have tournaments prior to Monte Carlo, I still felt rusty on the court, and just I knew that I'm a kind of player that particularly on clay needs more time, you know, at least 3-4 weeks to really get to desired level, and historically that's always been the case. And I usually peak here in Rome, so you know, I've had 6 titles, but also had a lot of finals and semifinals, so always a really good week of tennis with a lot of matches and competitiveness on the court. So anything that I was really looking for here in Rome, I got. It's a perfect kind of preparation and lead up to Roland Garros. I think with the rankings and the way I've been playing in the last few weeks, I would rate myself as one of the favorites, but you know, I don't obviously spend too much time thinking who's gonna win it or who might have the best chance. I always think about myself, and I go there with the highest ambitions, and particularly because of the way I played here. So I really like my chances. Obviously the draw and everything, it's not something that you can affect, but you know, it's going to also determine a little bit of my trajectory to the later stages of the event. But you know, best of 5, you play every second day, it's a Grand Slam. It's different, really. The Grand Slams are played different, and you have to approach it differently. And but the way I've been feeling on the court and off the court in the last few weeks, I really think I can go far.
It's hard to believe Novak Djokovic has just turned 35 years old and is the oldest man to win the title in Rome in the Open era. He's playing incredibly well. You've got to like his chances. On the women's side, no one is more dominant in the moment than Iga Swiatek. Since her winning streak began in February, she has lost just 5 sets and now wins her 5th straight title. She will be the defending champion at Roland Garros and need to deal with all the pressure that comes with being world number 1, defending champion. But so far, we've seen no weaknesses in her game, and good luck, Iga. Well, Roland Garros will also be the swan song for Jo-Wilfried Tsonga, one of our old-time favorites, who is now 37 years old. He reached the high of number 5, getting to the final of the 2008 Australian Open. It's going to be sad to see his last match. Valerie was actually hoping to be there, which would be amazing. And his compatriot, Gael Monfils, says he was forced to withdraw from the Open Parc de Lyon and the French Open this week. In his words, he said, "I have been bothered by a spur since Monte Carlo at my right heel, which prevents me from moving properly on the court." Unquote. Another person we'll be missing is Matteo Berrettini. He's back on the practice courts after undergoing surgery on his right hand in March, but the world's number 8 comeback schedule will not include competing at Roland Garros. The big question marks are, of course, Rafa Nadal, as we mentioned, Naomi Osaka, Emma Raducanu, and Andy Murray. Stay tuned to find out if they are going to be playing or not. Well, today I'm happy to share with you a short interview with my new friend that I met on the Tennis Pal app. As you know, this podcast is Tennis Pal Chronicles, sponsored by Tennis Pal, and we are so grateful for their sponsorship. Download the app at tennispal.com. I thought it would be fun for you to compare your experiences of using the app with hers. So please welcome my new friend, Tram Dang. Well, welcome to Tennis Pal Chronicles. I'm chatting with my new friend, Tram Dang, and she is in Chicago. Is that right, Tram?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm so excited to speak to you. But yeah, I'm in Chicago right now.
So Tram and I connected through the Tennis Pal app. I sent her a message because she actually liked one of my posts, I think. That's what it was. And I said, hey, someone liked my post. So I messaged her and I said, hey, I'd love to talk to you about Tennis Pal. And she responded. So that's how easy it is to use the app. And we're super excited about it. And Tram, I just wanted to get your feedback so far on, the app and how that's working. But first, tell me a little bit about your tennis and how you got excited about tennis and how you started and where you are now.
Yeah, so I started playing tennis when I was pretty young, when I was in middle school, and it started out just hitting with my brother. And then in high school, I played on my high school team, but we were always self-taught, my brother and I. We just watched Wimbledon all throughout the summer. And we would go to our nearby Safeway wall, which Safeway is convenience store, or not convenience store, a grocery store in Virginia, which is very similar to a Jewel. And we would just hit against the wall and just learn from doing that, just watching and then mimicking what we saw. And we taught ourselves, and I was able to play competitively in high school, but all self-taught. And that's where my passion for tennis have grown. I loved it and continued to play throughout college and in my adult life as well.
That's great. I often hear that people who play tennis in high school really fall in love with the sport because of the team atmosphere, and you're on the same team, you're rooting for each other. There's a lot of encouragement. Sometimes, unfortunately, the coaching isn't, where it needs to be at the high school level, but so great that you had such a great experience. And a lot of times I think the pattern is people play high school, they had such a great time, they get super busy in college, they have a career, and then they're at a place in their life where you know what, I need some physical exercise, and I love tennis. So it sounds similar to your story, but it sounds like you've been playing all along though, right?
Yeah, it's something I just really enjoy. When I'm playing tennis, it doesn't feel like exercising to me. It's, it's my hobby. I like doing it. 2 hours can go by and it still doesn't feel like I'm exhausted or like I'm, when I'm running, it's like different because I'm just like thinking about like, when is it going to end, kind of thing. When's that mile is going to be over? But when I'm playing tennis, it doesn't
The treadmill.
seem like, it doesn't seem like such a, tough exercise for me. So as I get older, it's my own, like, I love doing it because it's a great exercise as well.
Yeah, that's so true. That's what I love about tennis is not only is it exercise, but it's really playing a game and it's fun and you don't feel the exercise until the end or maybe the next day.
Yeah, sometimes when it's a tough match. Yeah, for sure.
And tell me a little bit about your tennis scene in your area. Where are you from and like where do you usually play and what's it like?
So Chicago is really hard to play tennis because, the winter is very difficult. And also the courts in Chicago are not in the best shape. But there are public indoor courts and also like clubs that you can join that has indoor courts as well that you could play throughout the year, or especially in the winter time. So usually that's what I do. I usually connect with people on the app, and usually we play. If we can get a court at a public court indoor, we do that, or we have to join a gym or a member of a court that has indoor courts. So that's another way of playing for me in Chicago. But when I was traveling for work, I met so many people. Like I used to travel for work to San Francisco and LA, and the app was very active.
Oh, nice.
There were so many more people using it and playing tennis in that area. So I played a lot of it when I used to travel.
So that's great. Just hearing the story about how it's so useful when you're on the road, because for me, I haven't used it in that way yet. I did actually just play this weekend with someone that I met online, and he had played in college as well. So we just had a great hit, which was a lot of fun. What specific places have you played in Chicago? Like if someone was from Chicago area, where would you recommend for them to play?
The best courts in Chicago, it's called McFrederick. That's an indoor public facility, so you don't have to be a member. You just pay I think it's $20 an hour, and you could just show up and play for an hour or 2 hours. But the best outdoor court is probably in the city. You get to see the skyline. It's really pretty, and that's downtown. And they do a really good job of keeping it and maintaining the court. And then that's just free. And it's every hour they turn over. So you have to go somewhere else. But it's a great, place to play in Chicago for me.
And have you tried playing in a league or connecting with the community in that way?
I have not. I just really enjoyed playing just one-on-one with somebody. I've not ever joined a league
just getting out
before.
there and rallying.
Yeah. So no, I've never played in a league.
And how hard is it to find someone to play with in your area?
In Chicago, it's not that hard. There's a lot of active user now. I actually joined Tennis Pal years ago. I think it's been 4 years, maybe less. And back then there was of course nobody. But now there's a lot of players that are on the website or on the app, so it's easy to find someone to play with and connect with.
That's great. That's awesome. Sometimes I've got to imagine being a cute girl on the app, it draws a lot more attention than someone like me. So I'm just wondering what your experience is like as a girl on the app and messaging with people.
Yeah, so I mean, I get a lot of...
And even meeting them in person too.
I mean, I get a lot of people, a lot of guys messaging me to play, but I also get girls as well. But yeah, it's easier just to connect with someone right away and just be able to play with them. But my connection with people, people that I've met through the app has been great. It's, something that I joke about because I met this one guy, shout out to Kanla, but he lives in San Francisco, and he's lied to me about his age, which I don't really care. It doesn't really matter because I feel like on the app you have You have like the level, the different level, and as long as like the levels are the same, people who are just like the same level as me, that's like mostly what I care about. It doesn't matter like how old you are, how young you are. But he was like 21 and he said he was 30 just so that I would go and meet up with him to play. But I mean, that's just like the silliest thing on the app, but it's a great app to just randomly meet people everywhere. So I think it's not too crazy.
That's so awesome.
It is the Tinder of tennis app, in my opinion, though. But
that's good. But it sounds like you've had some pretty good experiences as well. Can you share like one of your stories that you've played with someone and maybe kept in touch? Or
yeah, one of my really good tennis friend is from the app, but he lives in San Francisco. The one that lied to me about his age. We've connected through. I was traveling, and we just like. Yeah, it was like he messaged me and I was like, it was such a great day, like so beautiful outside. And he has shown me so many great tennis courts in San Francisco. And yeah, it's been really fun playing with him. I think he's the one person I've really connected with on the app. But and he's talked about how his experience has been, and he loved like meeting a lot of people through the app as well. So it's great in that sense. That's why I think
that's
it's
super.
Like
Thank you for sharing that, and hopefully we don't get him into too much trouble by telling his story.
He's fine. He loves it.
I actually see some rackets behind you, so tell me what you play with usually. What's your weapon of choice?
Head. And then the friend that I met, his name is Kandala. In San Francisco, he introduced me to Babola, and that's what I've been using.
Yeah,
lately.
Babolat, you said it, yes?
Yeah, so that's what I've been using lately, and I really like it.
That's great. Well, if you ever come out to LA again for your work, I would, of course, love to host you out here, and there's free courts to play all over Los Angeles, as you probably saw. And I saw a picture on your Instagram. If you don't mind me, I'll share your Instagram with people as well, which is TramBDang on Instagram. And I saw a picture of you at Indian Wells, which was really cool.
Yeah, I actually I played in Los Angeles at the Los Angeles Athletic Club before, so I love that. I love that.
Famous court.
Yeah, it was really fun. I know a member there. So, yes, I went to Indian Wells last year in October. It was very, very hot, but oh my God, it was such a great experience because the main court, you're very close to the player no matter where you're sitting. So it's different from US Open. I've been to the US Open like years ago. The US Open is like, if you're not sitting like close to the players, it's hard to like even see much. But with Indian Wells, it was really cool because you were able to be like so close to them, no matter where you were, where your seats were. Yeah, Indian Wells was a really good time. I loved it.
And did you have a chance to see any of the players on the practice courts? Because that's really cool where you can get super close.
Yes, I did. But I actually only went the last 2 days. So for the finals and then the semifinals.
Oh, so most of them had left already.
Yeah, a lot of them have already left. But it was, those practice courts are really cool too because you get to be very up close and personal.
Yeah, it's really my favorite tournament, the way that they run it. And they've put so much money into it and building all these new stadiums now. But it feels very accessible. Like Stadium 6, you're on those bench seating, but you're very, very close to the courts. And so, like John Isner once broke a racket and he just handed it to somebody. You literally can just hand it over the fence. That's how close he is to people.
And the fans at Indian Wells are so awesome. They're like really, really passionate. They're like really. I feel like when players are saying like it's because of you, the fans that are I'm able to play this well. It's so true. The energy there, it's like so different. The fans are like really into it. Just the whole time, like chanting, and it's great.
Yeah, that's the wonderful thing about tennis. I believe it's really a community sport, and it really is people connecting, not only because they love the game, but also because they play as well. So they really see themselves, on the court. They imagine themselves playing doubles or singles, and I do the same. I dream of playing on some of the best courts in the world. That would be amazing if I could ever do that.
I mean, it's one of those sports
s-
where you can pick it up at any age, in my opinion. I think it's so easy to play, and
So true.
it's not, you don't need like a whole team like soccer or basketball or I don't know, but yeah, it's like or football. I mean, it's a very easy sport to play with or to pick up as you get older, or even at any age. So.
Right. I mean, I can't imagine playing competitive basketball right now. I think I would just age out. But the nice thing is that tennis, there are actually people on the court that come out with me that are 70, 80, 90 years old and still playing. So it's amazing that they are still involved in it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
So do you have a favorite tennis player, or do you follow certain players? Are you
I
into
love
it
the
that
young
way?
ones. I like the ones that are just up and coming, like Emma and Osaka. They're not doing really well
Yeah,
right
those
now, but I
awesome.
just it's just they're amazing. Like I think they are just changing tennis as a whole. I think they're creating a lot of momentum, and I don't know, I think they're making it more present, like tennis more fun and more like a sport that people can enjoy watching as well as playing. So yeah, I love the young kids that are coming up right now.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I actually call them the new kids, but Iga Swiatek has become world number one now, and she's so young. And also Carlos Alcaraz, who just won in Barcelona in his hometown. And man, that guy hits the ball so crazy hard and has like the best defense. So, and how old is he? I think he's 19 or 20 now.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
exciting to watch
insane the
them.
level they're playing.
It's so
Yeah.
exciting to watch them. I feel like when I was their age, I was like, no way as good as they are. So yeah,
Yeah, and even Rublev, he just beat Djokovic in Serbia in Djokovic's home tournament. Which can you imagine with all those people yelling and screaming for Novak, and you're playing against them, and yet he still won. So the mental strength it takes to do that is kind of amazing.
it's definitely a big mental game for sure. I think tennis, mental game is more than physical game.
Well, getting back to the app, is there anything that you would like to see, different in the app, or things that you feel like would be enhanced? And how can we get more of your friends into the sport?
I think one thing I would change about the app is probably the scheduling. Maybe like a calendar or like some sort of set time invite kind of thing. I don't know how that's possible. But that's like the one thing that would probably make it easier to connect with people, because sometimes the messaging can lag. And like dating, like any dating app, it's just hard to keep up with like the message with people. So if it's like kind of like if someone's schedule or that they're free at a certain time, it's easier just to quickly set it up.
Sure. Do you typically stay in the app, or do you start texting with your phone, or do you use like any other way to connect with people?
I usually stay connected on the app until I meet the player. So we would schedule everything on the app, and then like once I meet the player and it's a good connection and we are able to, if I want to continue to play with them more, then I would connect outside of the app,
Yeah.
because it was just easier than just because the app, I feel like it's not as efficient as just texting someone, obviously, with everything else.
Yeah, the billions of dollars in the cellular industry.
Yeah.
Make it a little bit faster.
Right. Yeah, of course.
Well, we're so grateful that you're using the app and that it's helping you in your tennis game. That's so encouraging to us, and I can't wait to share this story. And thank you for allowing us to interview you and hear a little bit about your tennis. And
Yeah, I
really
love
appreciate it.
I love Tennis Pal, so this is really exciting to talk about it. And then hopefully this will encourage people to join the app, and so I'll have more people to play with. So, yeah, this has been really fun. So, yeah, everyone check out Tennis Pal.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Now I'm excited to keep in touch with you, and we can message back and forth. And yeah, anything I can do as a coach also to help you with your game or introduce you to people in LA. I don't know too many people off the top of my head in Chicago that I could refer you to. So I'm sure you're seeing much better than I do. So
Yeah, I'm always
here.
in California, and so now we're traveling again for work, and we have I have an office downtown LA, so in the Aon building.
Nice.
So I'm going to be back in the LA office pretty soon. So yeah, I love after work. I love to do that kind of stuff, like play tennis and go to yoga.
Yeah,
And so
I'm like 15 minutes from downtown, so I'm very close.
yeah, my office
I coach at a
my office is on Wilshire Boulevard. So
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I coach at a hotel in Pasadena, but also on public courts in the city I live. It's called Monterey Park, which is the best Chinese food in all of LA.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
only according to me, but Jonathan Gold. He picked like 4 of our restaurants and gave them all gold stars. So
Oh wow.
it's,
Okay. Yeah, I love the
some
food in
great
LA. Best Korean food is in LA. Japanese food, they're all in LA for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Chicago's not shabby either. I mean, you got a lot going on there.
Yeah, it's not, but it's LA. California is so different. Like the uni in California is so different. I love that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, Chicago's not.
Yeah.
It's has a
Great.
it's a very foodie has a foodie scene, but yeah, LA food is on another level.
Have you ever
Super
seen
fresh,
Streets of...
I feel like.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah. But Chicago gets it from, well, I guess up north, huh? In the Great Lakes. Yeah. Otherwise, you have to fly it in from both sides, right?
Right. And I love sushi, so yeah.
Yeah. How did you end up in Chicago from your Virginia? You were originally from Virginia.
Yeah, I was raised in Virginia, and then I went to school in New York City. I went to college in New York City, and then I moved back to DC to work for a little bit. And then I moved to Chicago for the wrong guy. Just followed someone here, and then just stayed here. It's been 8 years now, but it's the winters are very, very hard. Like it's every winter, I'm like, I'm moving away, I'm leaving. But the summer are better. But yeah, the winter is just very harsh here. It's very painful.
Wow. Yeah, back in my former life, I used to come out to Taste of Chicago every year as a part of a production team that we did. And then we'd do a rave in the middle of like Chicago cornfields.
Yeah.
Late at night. So that was back in the day. And it was so hot and humid, and then all of a sudden a thunderstorm would just come through, boom, and it, like everything gets soaked, and then it would go away, and the weather was so dramatic. So
it's like everyone only talks about the weather, the sports, and the crime in Chicago because there's nothing else to talk about. But yeah, I don't like. But every time I'm in LA, I'm like, it's sunny and nice, and you already know exactly what's the weather is going to be like. There's no question about it. It's already given. But in Chicago, it's like you never know when it's going to change so fast. Like today it was supposed to be nice, but now it's like raining and cold, and it's terrible. And it was like today it's saying 38 degrees. On Saturday it was 88 degrees. So it's like,
no.
I know, that's the thing. It's so unpredictable. It's so
Put on a jacket.
it's so terrible.
Hopefully you'll get a transfer to LA and then you can play tennis,
I know.
all year round.
I keep trying. I've been working for this company for 2 years. I've been trying to get transfer for 2 years now. It's not happening. I'm just a better person when I sleep with Like, I like warmth. Like, I sleep with like a radiator, like a small like a heater porter on. Like in the summer when the air condition is too cold. So like I'm not like a winter person at all. I hate the cold a lot. So.
Well, yeah, LA, Miami, Palm Springs, maybe.
Yeah, we have an office in Deerfield Beach, Florida as well. So it's like, just take me anywhere else.
Well, it's so nice chatting with you. I really enjoyed it, and can't wait to hear more about your tennis online, so we'll connect that way. Thank you so much, and I'll send you the link to the interview as well, so you can share it with your friends, and really appreciate it.
Okay.
Maybe in the future, if we get better video quality, I can actually do a video interview for our YouTube channel. That would be fun. This is just all audio.
Okay, yeah. I would love to keep talking about Tennis Pal. That will encourage more players on there.
Sounds great.
All right. Thank you for connecting.
So
I'll send you this recording.
Okay.
Bye, okay, and a picture of me. Okay, bye.
As a bonus to this episode, I'm including a great tennis update from legendary Venus Williams. Venus has restarted her YouTube channel and is posting some great content there. In this entry, she gives her update on not playing tennis this year competitively on tour, living in Paris, and a whole lot more. I really enjoyed this interview, and I thought you would too.
Hey everyone, how are you? It's Venus here, of course, and I just thought it'd be fun today to give you an update on my year because I get so many questions from you. What's happening? What are you doing? When are you coming back? Are you playing tennis? Are you retired? So I thought I'd just give you a rundown of how my year is going, and that way hopefully it'll answer your questions, or maybe I'll leave a little mystery. And of course, if you like this, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, press like if you like it, all the things, you know what to do. So let's get started. So the year started out for me, well, of course, in the tennis world, the year starts out in January. And in January, the Australian Open started, and I've had some amazing memories at the Australian Open, but it was not the route I was taking this year. So instead of going to the Australian Open, I ended up going to Paris, which is, of course, where I live my best life. And as you know, I love Paris, and it's been like my favorite destination for the last few years. So I think that's a pretty good consolation, going to Paris and having the opportunity of a lifetime to just, eat croissants, but not in excess, just like I'm allowed one croissant per trip. And so during that time, I had the opportunity to go to Fashion Week, and also during that time too, I got a chance to go to Virgil's last show. So if you have not seen that video, you can check it out and see what that was like. So I spent a lot of time, of course, in Paris this year, and for the last 6 months, I went every month. So this is the first month, actually, that I have not been in Paris, and it broke the streak. I was kind of hoping to do it every month for the next 12 months, but I could not rationalize or find a reason to go to Paris. Usually I always go because I have some work or I'm going to another country and then I find a way to get to Paris. This time there was no space for it. And another reason why there was no space is I've been so busy. So I don't know if you guys have heard of this movie, King Richard. Yeah, so this is a film that was amazing and told the story of our family. So I spent all of March, normally when most tennis players are going to play the big tournaments in Indian Wells or playing in the Miami Open, I was at the Oscars. It was incredible. It was amazing. It was the first time that I had seen the Oscars and been to the Oscars. So it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And Serena and I, we found out the day before that we were going to open the show. So that was so crazy. I couldn't believe it. And as someone who's not so emotional, it actually brought a few tears to my eyes. I just couldn't believe that life had taken us to that place. So if you take your opportunities, more will come. Those are wise words from my sister Serena that she told me before I walked out on the court in the 2005 Wimbledon. She told me, if you take your opportunities, more will come. And that is, I feel like, is a classic case. You just take your opportunities, you do your best, and then those go beyond your wildest dreams. So we spent all of March going to the SAG Awards, the Critics' Choice Awards, the Producer Guild Award. We were up for so many awards, and we brought home a few, and it was really the experience of a lifetime. So while I missed playing the tournaments, I actually got to do and experience so many other things. In April as well, there have been some really cool and amazing things. We were able to announce my partnership with Lacoste, so I'm super excited about that. And then April was also Sjogren's Awareness Month. So as you know, I live with an autoimmune disease, so it was really called Sjogren's syndrome. And I actually feel like I need to do more videos about that. So I'll put that on my list, but also it was really cool and amazing to be involved with the Sjogren's Syndrome Foundation and to support awareness for Sjogren's syndrome, for helping people to feel better sooner, get diagnosed faster, all those different things. So April was like a really big month for that. And then in March it was so crazy that I'm just going back and forth, but in March it was also so crazy because it was our big push for women's equity. And at my activewear brand 11, we really do a lot of work for this throughout the year, but of course March is Women's History Month, so it's important for us to really, scream into the treetops about how women are not paid equally. And on the average, women are paid 82 cents the dollar that men are paid in the United States. And if you're a minority, then you're paid less. If you leave the United States, guess what? Because of course, all of my fans and everyone watching the channel aren't just from the United States. That gap gets wider, so it's something that we have to talk about to raise awareness and also to raise money to grassroots level. So we're involved with Girls Inc. and we were able to help this organization raise money and also to let people know about this. So we had some really amazing moments on James Corden and some amazing articles around women's history, and that was or equity, and it was amazing to be able to scream that from the mountaintop so that people would hear that, and we continue to want to amplify that throughout the year. A really cool moment too is being able to go back home and visit where I was from, and I don't get a chance to go to California as much as I'd like, and I definitely don't get a chance to go back to Compton and visit my old school and to visit my old house and to visit the course where we practiced. All of those things in all those places, it was quite emotional. And I wanted to take that journey, and I took it with my sister Isha. It was like a Team V moment. And we just had this opportunity to just look back as we looked forward and as we prepared for the Oscars and hopefully to win something. And it was just emotional. And I think what hit me most of all was like looking back at all the work that went into that. It was just scary. Like, it was so much work. And when you just live day by day, you don't really think about it. But as I looked back, I was like, oh my gosh, there were so many hours. And I'm so grateful that me as a young person was dedicated to doing that work so that way I could be here today just living my dream on a daily basis. And that's what life's about, right? So for me now, as I look forward to what's happening next, of course, I look forward to getting back on the court. And of course, I'll let you know as soon as I know what's happening and when I'll be back. But I swear it's soon, and I can't wait. And I know the French Open and Wimbledon's coming up, and I've got so many questions. Are you playing the French? Are you playing Wimbledon? And like I promised you, I'm going to leave a little bit of mystery. I can't tell you exactly when, because I feel like I want it to be a surprise. So it will be a surprise, but I will definitely surprise you. And I think that I'm going to have so many supporters that have always supported me in my career and the things that I've done on the court, and I can't wait. So in the meantime, I'm watching the playoffs in basketball, getting super motivated about that, and super excited about Formula One, and Formula One being in Miami for the first time. So that's a great experience. And of course, you can check out our video on that too. And after that, life won't wait. I'm so excited about everything that's coming up, but I thought it'd be fair to give you an update on what's happening, what I'm looking forward to, and thank you guys for always connecting with me and just being here. And lots of love to you, of course. Be well, be safe. Remember to check us out every week on Fridays, and sometimes there's some special videos on other days we always let you know, especially if you have signed up for notifications like I've, asked you to, you will absolutely know when we're coming out with the things. So always comment in the comment box and let me know what's on your heart. And lots of love to you, and I'll see you guys next week.
Hey, thanks so much for listening to the Tennis Pal Chronicles podcast. We would love to hear from you, so send us an email at pk@tennispal.com. Make sure you download the app and find new people to play with. You can actually download the app and find Tram Dang and send her a message and say hi to our tennis friend in Chicago. And that's the best part of Tennis Pal, is being able to meet tennis friends, tennis pals all over the United States. So check out the app, and thanks again for listening. May all your serves be aces.